Hello, George and Lars. This is our contribution of the IP Handin for you. And this is Casper, and I'm from Group 10.
And I'm Matthias, I'm also from Group 10.
So, first of all, we're just going to talk about how this is related to our project. And to do that, we will introduce the final problem statement for you. And as you can see here, it is named like this. How can a neutral position interactive table with elements based on visual computing running a multiplayer game entice users to return to play the game in a nightclub? So basically, we want to have some kind of table like football. You see, it's very popular, and we want to use visual computing to.
We want to use the visual computing in different kind of ways and not just regular one way. But yeah, we didn't want to use like movement in the nightclub because we know that the scene is kind of poor and bad lighting, and so yeah, we wanted to do some different stuff and incorporating the natural scene of the bar. That would be kind of cool. So yeah, we wanted to. So we came up with the idea of having fluid detection. That's putting your drink in a cup holder and you detect the amount of fluid in your drink and incorporating that in the game. That was the first approach, at least. Yeah, for this, and then of course we had the video feed from the drinks. Because then we thought we might use the colors as well. That would be really cool. So you get something a different color depending on the drink. That could be cool.
So you can end up with a very girlish car if you have some kind of red or purple drink, and you can get some very awesome looking yellow striped car if you had something like a beer or whatever. But before we go more into the coding, actually, we want to show how it looks when you run the program. Um, yeah, it looks cool, right?
Live probably.
Probably it's the webcam that's awful.
Might be because we have video ourselves. Continue.
Ah, there you are. Thank you. Again, I'm Casper. Hello.
Cheers.
So what you see here is the feed you will get from the camera, and it's here. There's supposed to be see here. Where's the camera there? Here is supposed to be a cup here and a cup here with liquid, and depending on the amount of liquid there is in the cup, this region of interest will change. So see, I hold this. Now we just have a pre-assigned button that's called C, and when you press this, it will detect the color inside the ROI. So right now it will detect my blue color here, and at Matthias we will have a red color. And if you release it like this, it will, as you can see below the picture, there's another frame where you can see the color. So that is basically how we will measure this amount of liquid and measure um, the color in the nightclub. So let's go more into the coding part of it. Let's see here.
Yeah. So what we basically wanted is to use as few cameras as possible. Because yeah, we didn't want to rest the computer with 4 cameras. That would be kind of mean, but something like that. So we wanted the 2 cup holders near each other and use one camera to detect them both. Just like you just saw, we have like two distinct detection of color and the amount at in the same video feed from one of the webcams.
Exactly. So let's go into the coding part. We don't want to go too much into the setup as it's pretty basic, but we want to explain what it's doing when you run the program and you keep running it. Yeah, we have frame rate, we have a background color, and we have the video grabber when it takes a frame. It sets some kind of values to zero.
Well, basically, we're in the setup. There's some preset values just to not fuck up the program
Yeah,
from the
exactly.
start, and here we just reset them like every frame.
Yeah. So here, just to go shortly into this, we have a double follow that looks at the colors. So it will find a color. All these values it will put into an array, and one-dimensional array, and it will take the first value of this, and it will be the red value, and the second will be the green, and the third value will be the blue one, and it will keep looping like this. Um, and because we use a double fold, it's because it's going from the top left side of the screen, and it goes vertically to the right. And when it's done with this, like you see here, it will add one up here. So it will go one down on the vertical
Horizontal.
horizontal,
Yeah.
and it will do the same function once more.
And in the end, right there, we just kind of convert the colors to the HSB, hue, saturation, brightness. Yeah, well, we did that because RGB colors in a bar scene can be hard to measure since the light can change. And yeah, we want a more accurate measuring than just the pure colors from the RGB. So we from this point we use HSB.
Okay. So the next thing we do is we divide the picture up. Right now we're just taking half the width. This will give us the left side of the screen, and from there it will work. The following code will work. So what it does first, it finds out if the hue is higher than the desired color, but minus a color precision that we made to ensure that the color we will get can somehow be corrupted by the noise, and by determining how low or how high this color precision is, it will give more values to the color, to the color the camera will see, and it will just see if if the hue is higher than this or lower than this, and it will do the same for saturation and brightness as well. And if it does this, then it will add one to the fluid amount color, and if it won't find anything, it will just subtract one. And this code here is made to make sure that it's not getting below 0.
Yeah, well, the main thing is that if we then get fluid amount that's over 20, we say now we got definitely a color here that we can use for something, and we're sure that it's a good color. So yeah, of course we set the fluid Y for class 1 equal to the Y, meaning that this is the top point of this. We know we have some good colors. This is the top. We're going from the top bottom, like with the double for loops. So we know here is a good color, and here we put the Y. And this fluid Y class 1 is used like in the game for changing the cars and stuff. But more into that later. And we stop detecting. We put it to false and stop detecting. And
Yeah.
no reason for that.
So what you see here now is the boolean called detect color, which will be activated when you press down the key, and the region of interest is going down at the end to detect the color. And what it does here is it's getting a color, and then it will use this color and transform it into a mean value of hue and saturation and brightness. Um, the next one here, the else statement, is actually not used. It's more for debugging actually when you're moving the glass, but it's not relevant for this point.
Yeah, and the last thing we do here is the the result. We're making the result. We're taking the colors and putting it into the result array. And this result array is then put into the output. And we're putting the result into every pixel of the output. And this is actually a if else statement in the result. So if it is the color, it will be 255, and if it's not, it will be 0. So we're making it a binary image, putting into all of the colors. So we will only see a binary black and white image, only seeing the color of that will be white.
Yeah. And the last thing we see here is it's pretty much the same one, but it's for the next
Yeah, it is the first one we just explained. All of that is for the first half of the image
yeah,
from that video feed, and now we're going to the second part of it, and it's gonna be exactly the same, just like the other side of it.
exactly. And so that is basically it actually, because the next part you just it's just running another detect second, it's the second glass, and just detect the third glass and fourth glass. So that is basically how we are going to detect the amount of fluids we have
And
and the color, of course, yeah, in the cup. So
let's run the game.
let's run the game exactly to just to show you how it's looking. Just gonna find it here. Frameworks, some example, graphics, and it's just called image load example. Don't blame me for that, please. Yeah, let's run the game. See how it looks. We're just gonna activate this. It's actually it doesn't have to be shown because it's running no matter what. But it's just to show how it's actually detecting. So the thing is, when you're gonna start the game, you're pressing a big key. Oh, sorry. I think it's
Yeah, we have a start button.
yeah. We don't have that introduction yet, but it's supposed to say that you put a cup down in a hole, and it will detect the fluid, and it will give you a car, and you will have to press a button in order for the game to start. So yeah, there it is exactly.
So now we're pressing the start button or the big red button, so we start the game, and we're just gonna look at the video feed because that's interesting for us now. So we're gonna take something colored just to make it look better.
Ooh, red color.
See if we get the red color here. Is pretty light in here.
So when you press the key here,
Yeah,
it will take these point regions down, and of course when you release it, it will find the color. Um, it's pretty difficult to see here because of the lighting settings. Mm, why is it so damn bright? Well, I hopefully you get the picture, and based on where this region is, or based on the amount, which is actually which it is, you will get a car with different attributes. Oh, cool! We're missing cars. See car in the first one, and after this, let's see. Yeah, we get exactly the same cars. But if there were what's it called? If there were liquid, and there would be. See here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, just try and run it and see if we get some different colors. Got it.
It's exactly the same cars. Anyway, it will work at the preferred environment settings, so no worries. You will.
Yeah, so the amount of liquid corresponds to the. If you got a lot of liquid, you get a big truck and you drive slower, and if you don't have so much liquid, you get a smaller car. So if you go back to the final problem statement, this is supposed to change the game every time you play it. So it's gonna be interesting to see what car you can get next time. Drink a bit, and then next round you put it back in the cup holder, and you get a different car. Trying all the aspects of the game to be find it interesting to explore.
Exactly. It's just kind of differentiate you from the other normal games you have. Try to have some fun features based on visual computing, and this is pretty much what we have. We also include the environment.